In the beginning, there was only chaos, a vast and formless emptiness. From this primordial abyss, Gaia emerged, the earth itself, the mother of all life. She was a force of nature, both beautiful and terrible, embodying the boundless power of creation. Gaia was the giver of life, a nurturing presence that would shape the world and everything in it. Gaia was alone in the world, but not for long. From her own being she brought forth Uranus, the starry sky. He stretched above her, a shimmering canopy encompassing the nascent world. Together, Gaia and Uranus became the progenitors of a race of mighty beings, the Titans who would shape the destiny of gods and mortals alike. Gaia's story is not just a tale of creation, but a testament to the enduring power of nature. She is the constant in a world of change, a reminder that even in the face of the most powerful forces, the earth endures. Gaia's emergence from chaos was not a violent act, but a gradual unfolding. It was a process of differentiation, a separation of elements that had always existed, but were now taking on distinct forms. From the formless and the void came substance and shape, the raw materials for a world yet to be. Gaia was not simply a passive entity, a blank slate upon which creation was written. She was an active force, her very being the source of life and growth. The mountains rose from her, their peaks piercing the sky. The seas gathered in her hollows, their depths teeming with unknown creatures. The air itself was her breath, carrying the scent of wildflowers and the tang of salt spray. Gaia was the world, and the world was her, an interconnected web of life sustained by her boundless energy. Uranus, the starry sky, was drawn to Gaia's fertile embrace. He descended from the heavens and enveloped her in his vastness. From their union a new era began, an era of creation and abundance. Together they were the primordial parents, the source from which all life would flow. Their love was both passionate and powerful, a force that shook the very foundations of the world. From their embrace sprang not only the Titans, but a multitude of creatures, each stranger and more wondrous than the last. The first beings to emerge were the three Hecatoncheires, giants of immense strength, each with 100 arms and 50 heads. They were followed by the three Cyclopes, one-eyed giants who possessed a primal connection to the forces of nature. These were Gaia's firstborn, beings of raw power and unbridled potential. The Titans were the last and most wondrous of Gaia and Uranus's offspring. There were 12 in all, 6 male and 6 female, and they embodied the very forces of nature. Oceanus, the eldest, was the vast and encircling river that flowed around the world. His wife Tethys was the embodiment of the primordial waters from which all life had sprung. There was Hyperion, the Titan of light, and his sister Theia, the goddess of brilliance. Their children would inherit their dominion over the sun, the moon, and the dawn. Cronus, the youngest and most ambitious of the Titans, would eventually challenge his father for control of the cosmos. The birth of the Titans marked a turning point in creation. They were not simply forces of nature, but beings with the capacity for thought, emotion, and ambition. Their arrival set the stage for the dramatic power struggles that would shape the destiny of the gods. Section 5. Seeds of Discord. Uranus, though powerful, was also fearful. He looked upon his children, the Hecatoncheires and the Cyclopes, with dread. Their strength was unmatched, their forms monstrous, and he feared their potential to overthrow him. In his fear, Uranus imprisoned them within the depths of Gaia, banishing them to the dark recesses of the earth. Gaia, who loved all her children equally, was enraged by Uranus's cruelty. The earth groaned under the weight of her sorrow and anger, volcanoes erupted and the seas churned. She pleaded with Uranus to relent, but he refused to listen. Her pleas only fueled his fear, driving him to further acts of tyranny. Gaia's rage festered, growing with each passing moment. She began to plot against her husband, whispering words of rebellion to her Titan children. One by one, they refused to challenge their father, all except Cronus, the youngest and most ambitious of them all. Section 6. The Revolt against Uranus. Gaia crafted a plan, a desperate gamble to free her children and punish Uranus for his cruelty. She forged a mighty sickle from the depths of the earth, its blade sharper than any mortal weapon. This she gave to Cronus, the only one of her sons willing to challenge his father's might. As Uranus descended from the sky to lie with Gaia, Cronus ambushed him, wielding the sickle with all his strength. He struck a decisive blow, severing his father's genitals and casting them into the sea. The world trembled as Uranus roared in pain and retreated back to the heavens, his reign of terror finally at an end. From the blood that spilled upon the earth sprang the giants, monstrous beings who would later challenge the Olympian gods. From the severed genitals, cast into the sea, arose Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, born from the foam and the fury of the primordial waters. Section 7. The Rise of Cronus. With Uranus overthrown, Cronus ascended to the throne of the cosmos. He freed his siblings, the Titans, and together they ruled over the world. But Cronus, like his father before him, was driven by fear and paranoia. He feared that his own children would one day overthrow him, just as he had overthrown Uranus. Fulfilling the cycle of violence, Cronus imprisoned the Hecatoncheires and the Cyclopes once more, banishing them back to the depths of Tartarus, the deepest pit of the underworld. When his wife Rhea gave birth to their children, he swallowed them whole, determined to prevent the prophecy of his downfall. Gaia watched in dismay as her grandson, Zeus, was spirited away to safety by his mother. She had hoped that Cronus would learn from his father's mistakes, but it seemed that the cycle of violence was destined to repeat itself. Section 8. The Reign of Zeus. With Gaia's guidance, Zeus grew to manhood in secret. He eventually challenged his father, forcing Cronus to regurgitate his swallowed siblings. A terrible war erupted, the Titanomachy, a battle that shook the very foundations of the world. In the end, with the help of the Hecatoncheires and the Cyclopes, Zeus and the Olympians were victorious. The Titans were overthrown and banished to Tartarus, and Zeus established a new order ruling from atop Mount Olympus. Throughout these tumultuous events, Gaia remained a constant presence, a force to be reckoned with. She might have favored the Olympians, but she did not hesitate to challenge Zeus when his actions threatened the balance of the world. Section 9. Gaia's Enduring Legacy. Gaia's story is a reminder that the Earth is not simply a passive backdrop to human drama. She is a force of nature, both creative and destructive, capable of both nurturing life and unleashing her fury upon those who disrespect her. Her legacy is present in the rustling of leaves, the crashing of waves, and the rumbling of volcanoes. She is the earth beneath our feet, the air we breathe, the very essence of life itself. Her story reminds us that we are all connected to the natural world, and that our actions have consequences. Though the age of gods and monsters may be long past, Gaia's story continues to resonate in the modern world. As we face the challenges of climate change and environmental degradation, we would do well to remember the lessons she teaches, to respect the earth, to honor its power, and to live in harmony with the natural world.